Hey everyone, today I was working on a '02 Chevy Tahoe, pulling the transfer case on it. I've already got it out and I'm just going to go over it with you. This is the top side and it is the 246 CM model, so if yours is that model, it's probably pretty close to this one. There was 3 electrical plugs I had to take off, one on the driver's side and then one on each side of the rear of the transfer. And then there's a few of these quick connects holding on the wiring harness and other tubes. There was also a vent line right here that I pulled off. Now I usually suggest taking the transfer case motor off right here. It's only 3 bolts. You have to disconnect the electrical plug on it anyway. The reason is that whenever you take the transfer case down, if you happen to drop it and it falls on this motor right here, you end up damaging it, and then you have to pay, buy another one, which they can get pretty pricey sometimes. So just take a few minutes, go ahead and take that off, and then that way you don't damage it, bringing your transfer case down. Now, right there you can see the 6 bolts hanging onto the back of the transmission, and I'll crawl underneath here in just a second and show you about those, how to get to them. And before that, I'll show you about the drive shafts, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here I am underneath the truck. You'll need to take the front shaft out, so you'll go to the diff on the front, take the U-bolts out. There's four bolts, slide those out, and then the shaft you'll have to take on the back side, on the transfer side. You'll need to take this clamp off, pull the boot up a little bit, and then slide that end off. You might have to get a pry bar or something to actually pop it off there. It's not too hard to do. And then on the drive shaft on the back, be doing the same thing. Just take the U-bolts out right here, and take a little screwdriver or something and pop the U-joint out, and then slide the drive shaft out, and just set it on the ground. Try not to damage it whenever you put it on the ground, but you'll see the transfer case up in here and the 6 bolts that hang on to it, and then you'll be able to see all your wires from underneath. Now, I don't take any of this other cross member stuff off or anything. What I normally do is, after I take out the drive shafts and get all my electrical and everything off, I usually go ahead and start loosening up these bolts. Now this one right here, you can get to it with a regular wrench. The other ones, I usually just use a ratchet. This one right here, I usually use a short socket with a ratchet, and I get it off pretty easily. And the one up top, I'm able to get a ratchet up in there, a short ratchet, and get it off up there. So they're really not too hard to get to. If you didn't drain your tranny fluid, you're gonna have some fluid coming out of the back of the transmission whenever you break it, so get you a pan right there to catch the fluid. As soon as you bring that transfer case back a little bit, the fluid will start pouring out. So if you get your jack underneath the transfer case, once you get all the bolts out, then you can let the jack down really slowly. You'll need to push the transfer case back to where the nose is back over here a little bit, and then you'll tilt the front end of it downward and then kind of turn it to the side, and then slowly drop the jack down, and you'll be able to get it out. It's not too bad. Sometimes I'll do it by hand without the jack, but it gets pretty heavy, especially if you're sitting there for a minute, or if you forget electrical line, it gets kind of hard. But best thing is to get you a jack underneath it. And if I didn't already tell you, you need to get some jack stands underneath the vehicle, get it up in there, give you plenty of room to work with. But other than that, that's basically how you take the transfer case out of a Chevy Tahoe. Thanks for watching my video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And I guess I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.